Welcome everyone to episode 31 of the Morgan Horse Source. In this episode, we are going to meet the AMHA Youth Council. So everyone that produces this series, the Morgan Horse Source, and then we're going to talk about what we do and all that fun stuff. So, so let's get started. So, what is the AMHA Youth Council? The AMHA Youth Council is composed of AMHA members that are 21 years old or younger. Members work together to create ways to promote the Morgan breed, attract like-minded youth to AMHA programs nationwide, be representatives of AMHA by offering guidance to other AMHA youth, and serve as exemplary role models. Some of the things the Youth Council does is the Youth Council hosts online events, organizes fundraisers, and organizes events and activities at horse shows, as well as other activities to promote the Morgan breed and AMHA youth programs. So, for example, on this slide, in our top right corner, we have our wheelbarrow races um, that we did at the 2022 Grand National Morgan Horse Show. And that was a great success. We had many youth come out and have fun playing a game. And then on the bottom here, we have our, we do a lot of fundraising activities. So in 2021, we were selling fans at horse shows across the nation at different horse shows. And then we have our Kahoot game nights that we hosted monthly. There will soon be a different game taking its place, so be on the lookout for that. We also, of course, do our Morgan Horse Sources every month, where we interview equine professionals, whether they're a part of the Morgan breed or not. So we have like farriers and trainers and judges and youth of the year contest winners. Um, and we recently launched Morgan Horse Source on Spotify. So if you're not already listening to it on Spotify, you should. Okay. Okay. Being on the Youth Council. The Youth Council accepts applicants at any time. To apply, you must be between the ages of 12 and 21, be a current AMHA member, and love Morgan horses, of course. Each May, we have a committee election where all AMHA youth can vote. Whether they're on the Youth Council or not, it's open to all AMHA youth. The executive committee of the AMHA Youth Council includes the president, vice president, treasurer, secretary, director of public relations, director of marketing, and the regional delegates. These positions, aside from the regional delegates, require the youth to be at least 14 years old as of January 1st of the election year. Regional delegates must be at least 12 years old at the time of application. And we have our little QR code at the bottom here that will send you right to our application form that youth can fill out. All right, and here we're going to meet the 2023 to 2024 Youth Council. So starting off, we have the president, myself, Amelia, and then our vice president is Kiana Pearson. Our secretary is Allison Paul. Our treasurer is Catherine Masana. Our director of public relations is Jordan Freytag. Director of marketing is Cassidy Moore. And then our regional delegates are Cassidy Huggins, Isabella Rins, Madeline Wolf, Rosie Tylenda, Grace Elman, and Natalie Sander. And now, with the part of the council that is here with us tonight, we are going to go around and talk about and ask each other a few questions, I guess. Okay, so my first question for the youth council is what got you involved with the Morgan breed, and what is one of your favorite things about the Morgans? And I'll go ahead and go first. So I got involved with the Morgans because of my mom. She introduced me to the breed. She's always been involved with the breed. She runs a rescue in a Morgan horse facility, so that was bound to happen to be a part of the Morgans. And my favorite thing about the Morgans is their versatility. I have so many different experiences with Morgans and getting to do so many disciplines and get a lot of different opportunities. So that'd probably be my favorite thing. So if Kiana wants to take it away and answer this first question.
Absolutely. I got into Morgan's through actually Groupon lessons for my birthday when I was 10 years old. Just happened to be a Morgan barn that we did it at, and I've been with them ever since. My favorite thing about the Morgan is just how personable they are. I've gotten a chance to work with a few other breeds, and they're just not nearly as attentive and just eager to please and just people and owner oriented as the Morgans are. So it's just really great to see their personalities come out and how much they love their people.
For sure. All right. And then if Katie would like to go next.
Yeah, I started riding when I was 4, and I told my mom I wanted to ride horses, and she's very supportive. And so she saw an ad in the newspaper, and it just happened to be a Morgan barn in the area. So I stayed with that barn up until very recently. And so I've had Morgans ever since. I bought my first Morgan a few years ago. And my favorite thing about Morgans is their versatility and their work ethic. My horse, he used to do park when he was younger. He has national championships as a park horse. Then he did English pleasure, he did hunt, and now we do dressage, and he has world championships in that. And I attribute that not only to his versatility, but primarily to his work ethic. A lot of people will say he's not going to do this or he's not going to do that, and then he always proves them wrong and works harder than any other horse I've worked with.
Awesome. Okay, and then Maddie.
Okay, so I got into Morgan's when my mom got a coupon for a summer camp, and it did happen to be a Morgan farm. And I've been there ever since I was 7, so 10 years this year. And I wouldn't see myself working with any other breed. I mean, I go every single day working with so many different of them. I mean, I go from the saddle seat horse, the hunt seat horse, to the driving one, to I'm doing reining currently. And it's insane to me that they're all so different, but they're all so similar, and they're just so sweet and kind and calm, and they're wanting to learn. And I've worked with other breeds, and Morgans are just so unique in the way they respond to people. And they can come so different or damaged, but they always are willing to learn and want to be the best they can be. And I truly love them.
I agree. Good answer. Rosie.
Yeah, I got into Morgan's like 5 or 6 years ago when my current trainer bought the barn I was riding at. And she just kind of threw me on a Morgan and told me, hey, let's do this. And I've been stuck with it ever since.
Awesome. What's your favorite what's your favorite thing
Um,
about Morgan?
Honestly, the community, like it's been a great, like all the experiences I've gotten to have because of being involved in this breed, it's like pretty cool.
For sure. All right. And then Cassidy, so you just joined us. Would you like to answer our first question, which is
Yes.
what what got you involved with the Morgan breed, and what is one of your favorite things about the Morgans?
The reason I got involved with the Morgan breed was first because of my mom, because she signed me up with Megan Gallagher, and then from there on, Megan Gallagher from Grand Finale Stables has she like made me like get more involved in the Morgan. She was saw the youth council as an opportunity for us to get more involved. That's how I got in the youth council. She wanted us to learn more about the Morgan. And yeah, I think the Morgan breed has just been awesome. I've learned so many things being involved, and they're such a cool breed. They're just all around awesome.
Yeah. All right. To the youth council, if you compete, what discipline or disciplines do you compete in? Or if you don't compete, what are some things you do with your horses? So I'll go ahead and go first again. I don't compete currently, but I used to compete in hunter pleasure and equitation, showmanship, dressage, hunter jumpers, and probably more that I'm forgetting throughout the years because that's just how it goes. Um, but yeah, if Kiana wants to go next.
Yeah, so I compete in hunter pleasure. Currently I'm doing my last year of youth this year, and then I'll be in the adult amateur and ladies amateur.
And then Katie.
I compete in dressage and I've also competed in classic pleasure driving.
Awesome. Maddie. I know you have a lot.
So, I'm currently competing in saddle seat equitation, hunt seat equitation, and then I also do showmanship, versatile Morgan, trail, and like sport horse and the road hack currently. So
Awesome. And then Rosie.
I'm currently just competing in hunter pleasure.
Awesome. And Cassidy.
I am currently competing in hunter equitation and hunter pleasure. I have competed in dressage, and I've also competed. My horse used to be a Western pleasure horse, and so I competed in Western pleasure and Western equitation.
Cool. All right. And then when did you join the youth council and how long have you been on it? So I joined in 2020, I believe. So I've been on it. This is my 4th year. But yeah, Kiana.
I joined in, I think, March of 2018. So this is my 6th year going on.
Awesome. Katie.
I joined at like the end of 2022, beginning of 2023, so I've been on just over a year now.
And Maddie.
I just joined last, I think it was August or September.
And Rosie.
I believe I joined last July.
Yes. That sounds right. Cassidy.
I'm pretty sure I joined in 2022. I'm not completely sure if that's correct, but it's been an awesome experience.
Well, that's good. It all seems like a blur, but
Definitely. I was like trying to look back at emails just now, like, when did I join? I think it's been 2020. It was 2022. Not exactly sure. That might not be right.
that sounds about right. But um, what made you want to join the youth council? So for me, I um I just I started learning about all the AMHA youth programs, especially the youth contest and the it is now called the merit program. And I was encouraged by a friend I knew to go ahead and just join the council because it's a lot of fun and it turns out it is. So and yeah, and I joined and I've been on it for 4 years. So Kiana?
Yeah, I think if I remember right, I just really wanted to be involved more in the breed and then just the youth as a whole. And a friend of mine at the time was in the council and she was like, hey, they're accepting applications. And I was like, awesome. And I applied. And then ever since then, I've been in it.
Yeah. Katie?
One of my friends told me about the youth contest. So I did the youth contest and I ended up competing at Oklahoma. And then at Oklahoma, a lot of the people that were also competing in the youth contest were on the council. So I learned about it then. And then pretty much right after Oklahoma, I decided to join.
It's kind of hard to not do one youth activity, AMHA youth program without doing the other. So I feel like that's a lot of people's experiences. And then Maddie?
So my good friend Lucy Enns was on it for a while, and she always told me about stuff you guys did. And I would always go to the shows, and I like that wheelbarrow race. It just looked so cool to be involved in. And so back in August, I was just finally pushed myself, and I'm like, okay, I'm like submitting an application. I want to do this. I want to be involved. I want to meet more youth that have like-minded interests like I do. So I joined.
Yeah. Rosie?
So until like right before I joined, I really didn't know it existed until Amelia told me I should join. And so I did. And it's been great.
Yeah. And then Cassidy.
I decided to join the youth council because I was doing all the AMHA contests at the shows. I thought it was a great way to further my education in the Morgan horse and also like meeting people that have a common interest in the Morgan horse. And it's been pretty awesome learning more about the Morgan horse. And then like also like finding a way to get the Morgan breed more out there and the youth council. The campaigning has been awesome.
Yes. All right. What other AMHA youth programs are you involved in or have you been involved in? So for me, I don't remember which one I started out on. I know I did the youth contest and I joined the council the same year. But before that, I know like years before that, I know my mom tried to make a youth team, I believe. Those are one and only attempt at it because unfortunately there just aren't a lot of youth at the time that we had. And then I did a lot of at the time, I believe they were called like badges, the badge program or something, but it's now called the merit program. And I wanted to collect all of the badges. So I tried to go through all the levels and um, yeah, and then I did a few medal classes because those are considered AMHA youth programs. The medal classes at the regional shows. I think in 2019 or 2020, I did my first um, medal class at nationals. So yeah, Kiana?
So I think I started back before they had the youth teams. I did a youth club back in like 2013, I think. And then I did the youth contests for about 7 years, starting in 2015. I am now the like team leader, mentor of my Barnes youth team, the actual team now, and then the youth council.
So, Katie?
I did the youth contests for a couple of years, and I've worked through some of the merit program, still kind of working on it. And this just very recently, I sent in my application to start a team. And obviously, I'm on the council too.
Awesome. Maddie?
So, kind of like Kiana was saying, I did the clubs back when it was still that with Lucy running it. And our barn is currently trying to start up a team program. So, hopefully, that'll get started soon. And I've been doing the medals since I think 2019 or 2020. And then I'm a member, I'm due youth of the year as well. And I've been doing that for a while. And then the merit program, I've been working through all of those badges. So,
Awesome.
My barn has a youth team. I've done some of the badges, and I do youth competitions, and I'm a little bit involved with like I've started doing some stuff with getting more kids to do youth competitions.
Awesome. Cassidy?
I've done youth of the year at mostly every show I could. And then I've done some of the merit badges. And then I've done most of the AMH, like every show I've done AMHA hunt seat medal classes.
Awesome. Yeah, I guess it was clubs before teams. I guess that's what I was trying to. I was really young when my mom started it, so but yeah, it's very cool. I just want to put it out there for anyone watching this recording or anything. It's you don't have to do other AMHA youth programs to be on the council, but it is a lot of fun to do the other programs too. All right. What is your favorite activity or aspect about the youth council? For me, I um, I I live in the central region, specifically Texas, and there are not a lot of Morgan shows at all, or even Morgan people for that matter. And so it was really nice to join a community of other Morgan lovers like me. So to just have this community and meet other youth and people that were competing in the same divisions I was, that was really nice. So that'd probably be my favorite thing that I would have as a takeaway of my whole experience. Kiana?
I have a very similar thing. I grew up in New York, so obviously there's a lot more Morgans out there, but I really like the ability to be able to talk to Morgan people throughout the country, especially that they're our age and are just equally passionate and just love the breed as much as I do. And really get to kind of bounce ideas in terms of certain types of fundraisers we can have, the Morgan Horse sources. And then I love that the Morgan Horse sources allow us to have different people and professionals throughout the industry come and talk to us about their viewpoints and kind of how they got their start and what they do now. Just being able to talk to a lot of different people that love the breed is great.
Yeah. Katie?
My favorite thing that we do with the council is definitely the Morgan Horse Source. It's really fun to just watch and learn about them, but it's even more fun to be involved in choosing who gets to be on it and writing the questions and even hosting some of them. And I also enjoy being amongst other youth because my barn really didn't have any other youth at all. So it's fun to be around not only other Morgan people, but other youth Morgan people.
Yeah. Maddie?
I would kind of go off of what you said, Amelia. It's nice to know like other people that do the youth contest because I feel like a lot of people that do youth council do youth of the year. So it's really nice to know a friendly face. Like if I see somebody at a show or at nationals, like I'm not scared because I'm like, oh, I like know that person. I talked to them. So it's really nice to be familiar with different people and know that they have like-minded interests like I do.
Yes, for sure. Rosie?
I think similar to Maddie, I like going to shows and knowing people and like I mean having a group to talk to. Um yeah, I like the connections.
Yeah. Cassidy?
I also agree with like having the smaller shows because there's only like a couple shows in California and we always have to go to another state. And like seeing like the other youth involved is really cool. Like something like it's we all share a common interest in the Morgan horse. So it's so cool to like actually like know somebody that has the common interest in the Morgan horse and wants like to promote it. It's really awesome. And then like going to Oklahoma and seeing the whole youth council is just awesome.
Yes, exactly. Um, losing track of my question. Um, what are some activities or hobbies you do outside of the youth council? So for me, I honestly, majority of my time was with the horses. I spent a lot of my time either with the horses or learning about horses. So a lot of equine nutrition or hoof care or just nerding out about horses. Um, Other than that, Netflix or just streaming services or anything. I don't really do much outside of school and courses. So, Kiana?
I'm pretty much the same way. Horses and work are pretty much all I do. I have a dog now, so I do a lot of things with him. But I like to read, watch TV, that type of stuff, just kind of chill activities.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not alone. Katie?
Most of my time is definitely also horses and school. I'm a college student in computer science, so I spend a lot of time coding and a lot of time with my horses. And I got a baby horse recently, so a lot of time dealing with his shenanigans. And then outside of that, when I do have extra time, I'm also on the executive board of a dance group at my college, and I do have standard poodles that I show too, although they haven't had a lot of time lately due to my additional horse.
Very fun. Maddie?
I would like to say I do other things, but I just switched to doing online school in college so I could spend more time with other horses. So, I mean, outside of youth council, I am at the barn. It's spring break. I'm at the barn helping with spring break camp, helping train horses. I work at a vet clinic, and it's just everything pretty much revolves around horses in my life. And if I'm not, I'm probably just at home sleeping because I was at the barn all day. So,
Fair. Rosie?
Yeah, so pretty much the same. If I'm not at school, I'm at the barn, and that's it.
Sounds like we're all true horse girls over here. Cassidy?
I'm gonna say the same thing. It's mostly horses. Dealing with my horse is such a turn. But yeah, mostly that. I like traveling, love traveling. That's another thing. But yeah, mostly horses. Takes up my time a lot.
Yeah, that's fair. Um, okay. What's your favorite youth council memory? Um, for me, I I have a hard time thinking of all the all the things we've done, but I have a lot of time. I have a lot of fun at nationals because we can get pretty creative. Like a couple of years ago, we did the wheelbarrow race. Last year, we hosted a homecoming dance. Um, other years, I think the past few years actually, we've made goodie bags for to pass out to all the barns the night before the show starts, and putting those together is fun to me. Takes a while, but it's fun to me, and going around and seeing all the barns and dropping off encouraging uh, notes from the youth council. That's always been really fun. So yeah, Kiana.
I think it's the same for me. Nationals is always really fun, especially Nationals of 2022 is my first time ever getting to go. So being able to meet everyone that I've talked to for years in person for the first time was really cool, especially.
Yeah. Katie.
I unfortunately joined after Nationals in 2022 and was unable to go to Nationals in 2023, so I haven't experienced that yet, but hopefully I will soon. But my favorite memory was probably the Morgan Horse Source with David Friedman. That was a lot of fun. That was my first one I ever hosted, so I was really nervous, but it was a really good episode. I learned a lot of new things, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Maddie.
so I haven't really been on the youth council since like during like the summer months and show season, but I would say the Morgan Horse Source has been my favorite and really getting to listen and tune into all of those. I mean, like listening to Sandy Sussex speak and everything, it's just really cool to hear those types of people and hear their opinions and what they think about the Morgan breed.
Yeah. Rosie.
Yeah, like I haven't been on the youth council very long, but I think going to nationals and getting to meet everyone uh for the first time like after I joined.
Yeah. Cassidy.
I think Morgan Nationals was definitely a highlight meeting everybody. I remember sitting in the bleachers waiting to get called out and having a chat with everybody. That was pretty neat. And then also the Morgan Horse Source has just been awesome because you're like connecting with the people in the youth council about like the love for the Morgan, but you're also connecting with a trainer and hearing their like love for the Morgan and other like people that are involved in the Morgan horse. And it's just really cool seeing everybody's love and how it's just really neat.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Last question. What would you say to someone considering being on the youth council? So, for those of you out there that are considering being on the youth council, I highly recommend. For me, when I joined, it was in 2020, and I was 18, and I thought it was too late. I was being so dramatic about it. I was like, I'm too old for this. I can't. I can't. It's embarrassing. And it turned out to be really, really awesome. And I've gotten so many great experiences. I got to meet so many wonderful people. I got so many opportunities, and um I'd be aging out next year, but it feels like these past 4 years have been so long. So you're not too old, even if you're like 18, as dramatic as I was, or or older or whatever, as long as you're 21 or younger. It's not too late, and you can have a lot of fun and still make a lot of great opportunities and have a lot of great experiences. Another thing I'll say is I love having more people on the youth council and getting to meet and talk to people from different areas of the industry. So, if you're like a working Western person or a dressage person, um, we would love to have you on the council. Having those different experiences, even if you don't compete Morgans, but you ride or are a part of other Morgan related avenues. I think that's wonderful, and I think you can still do a lot of great things here on the council and still have a lot of fun. So that would be my 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 speech. Kiana?
I definitely think you should just apply. It's not as daunting as it probably originally seems, because I remember being a little intimidated by the idea of it. It's 1 hour a month for the meetings, and then you can kind of adjust how much time you have for the the subcommittees and all of that. So it's definitely not as bad as it might seem at first. I also think it just has helped me a lot on with connections, both personally in terms of friends across the nation with Morgans, but also on a professional level, just being able to talk to these people during the Morgan Horse Sources that are professionals in the industry has given me a lot of confidence, both for myself and then also when I go to like job interviews and stuff like that. It's kind of just a step above. It's not, you don't have to make a big step to do those things. It's just a little bit more than what you normally would do. It's just a lot. It's a lot of help to be able to talk to people like that.
I agree. Katie?
Yeah, I agree with everything you're both saying. When I joined, I was a little bit scared because I had gone to the youth contest and it seemed like most of the people that were on it like already knew each other, and I really didn't know anybody because there's no other youth at my barn or anything. So it was a little intimidating at my first meeting, but everyone was super nice and I quickly felt right at home with the council. And definitely don't feel like you can't do it because you're not competing a lot, because I was competing the first year, but by the second year I still competed a lot, but I wasn't able to go to Grand Nationals. And I know it seems like a lot of the things that we do are geared towards nationals, but there's still a lot that you can do to plan for it and to help before you get there, even when you're not there. So, and I agree with Kiana, it's a lot of help. Like I said, when I was doing my first hosting on the Morgan Horse Source, I was super nervous, but now I've become a lot more comfortable speaking, and that's definitely helpful when you go into interviews and other things like that.
Yeah. Maddie?
I would say do it. It has been a really good experience just for the little amount of time I've been doing it. When I would go to shows, I would be with my friends and everything, but not a lot of them did the youth of the year. So doing this experience has given me to be more comfortable around with people that are older than me, younger than me, and just giving me a friendly face to see and knowing that there's other people I can talk to about this. And if I don't have a stupid question about youth of the year because I know you guys have experienced it. So it just makes me feel more comfortable knowing that I can lean on you guys if I need anything. So
Yeah. Rosie?
I'd say just like don't be afraid to ask questions. I was definitely like a little nervous at first to like ask anything, but everyone on the council is like super nice and it's not as scary as it seems.
And Cassidy.
I definitely agree with everybody. I think it's made myself like a more outgoing person, like, and also like organize has helped me, like been able to like plan things for like the youth council has really helped me in life. And then like also like knowing like familiar faces is definitely true. And like I wouldn't like don't be afraid to ask anybody on the youth council about joining it because it is a really awesome program and it's something really cool to be involved.
For sure. I loved all those answers. So that rounds out our little Q&A. The last thing is you can find us on social media, our Facebook, Instagram, our YouTube channel, where you can find a lot of these Morgan Horse Source episodes, and then on Spotify. That is newly launched. Very exciting. If you guys have any questions, you can email our youth coordinator, Nikki, or go to our website or the MHA website. And yeah, feel free to reach out to anybody on the council if you have any more questions. We'd love to have you be a part of the youth council or the youth programs even. So yeah, thanks for listening.